Nevanthi is an intelligence-based support class hero from the Wilder faction who specializes in healing and buffing her teammates, and in today's video we're going to take a look at her skills and abilities, her teams and uses, and whether or not it's worth investing in this hero, so let's get into it. Her ultimate ability is Nature's Flourish. For this one she's going to gradually restore the health of all allies. Allies that are below 40% health will receive additional healing, and if they are above 40% health then they will gain extra energy. Her next ability is Connecting Branches. This one has a passive and an active portion. Passively, every 4 seconds, she will grow a stalk behind herself, which is going to help her recover energy, and she can store up to 3 stalks at a time. If an ally falls below 50% health, she can sacrifice one of her stalks to heal them. Then when she actively uses this ability, she's going to reduce the damage that she takes and also reduce the attack rating of the enemy with the highest attack and also reduce the defense rating of the enemy with the highest defense. Then we have Natural Gifts. For this one, she's going to grant a stalk to the ally with the lowest health percentage, healing them and granting them the buff Arbor Refuge. While benefiting from Arbor Refuge, if that ally receives damage that exceeds 20% of their current health, that damage will be reduced and they will be granted with a shield, mitigating damage and also reducing the damage that they take. And up next is another passive, Verdant Shade. For this one, when a newly summoned entity from an ally appears on the battlefield, she's going to grant the Mark of Nature effect to the summoned entity and its summoner. Mark of Nature increases the target's haste and attack rating, and while dealing damage, they impose a restriction on the enemy hit. And once this stacks up to 5 times, the enemy is entangled, during which they are immobile and unable to attack. Her signature item skill is Deflecting Sprouts. For this one, when using the ability Natural Gifts, for the next 5 seconds, she transfers 10% of the direct damage received by the allied hero with the lowest health percentage to the enemy hero with the lowest health percentage. However, the amount of damage transferred cannot exceed 35% of Nevanthi's max health, and at level 10 this increases to 20%, and level 20 it increases to 40%. At level 30, when she triggers her ultimate ability, she will first dispel most healing restrictions on all allies and also cast Connecting Branches once. Next comes her furniture ability, Forest Creepers. For this one, at level 3, after the restrictions are imposed by the Mark of Nature to their maximum number of stacks, the enemies will suffer additional damage based on their max health. At level 9, the duration of the Mark of Nature effect is increased to 7 seconds and can be stacked up to 2 times. And finally, we have her Engravings. Now, at level 30, her Natural Gifts ability will grant the Arbor Refuge effect to Nevanthi herself and all allies along the flight path of the stalk. And it will also increase the damage reduction effect of the shield. And at level 60, when an ally's summon entity perishes, she will permanently increase the summoner's attack rating and haste, and this can be stacked up to 3 times. Nevanthi has really strong healing, damage mitigation, and buffs for her allies. Where she really shines is in teams with allies that summon extra entities, mainly due to her Verdant Shade ability. For this reason, she's really going to excel with units like Awakened Solace or Awakened Baden, and definitely with something like Grizzul in a Grizzul Ulna team. However, due to the Awakened heroes being harder to obtain, and Grizzul and Ulna just being a really solid core by themselves, we're going to take a look at her in a bit of a different team to highlight some different units today. This team will consist of Mishka, Astar, Tarnos, Nevanthi, and Karlen. First up, we have Mishka. Now, with her summoned wolves, she takes full advantage of Nevanthi's buffs. And Mishka is just a really solid option in most teams to be a tank and also provide a lot of control. If one of her wolves die early, it means she can fill up her ultimate gauge and do an ult and stun the enemy team. Then we have Astar. She's in the team to provide additional mitigation and healing to help support Nevanthi in those roles. She she comes in and she will instantly start doing her chant, which is going to reduce the damage that allies take, also give herself some immunity to control effects, and then when she comes out of it, she will be able to use her ultimate and start healing allies and dealing extra damage to the enemies. Thanos is in the team because his Pillars of Sin make full use when paired with Nevanthi. He's there to deal extra damage, provide additional control, and also distraction, providing the enemies with something else to attack besides our squishy front row of a star. Next up is Karlan. She's here to be our second damage dealer, summoning those hellhounds to attack enemies and also having some nice control with her ultimate as well. Then finally we have Nevanthi herself, who is here to once again provide healing and damage mitigation and also those useful buffs to our allies with summoned entities to help them excel in combat. And the main purpose of this team is to control the enemy team and keep ourselves topped off with damage mitigation and healing for long enough to allow us to achieve victory. As for artifacts on Nevanthi, the Tidebearer is a great option. It provides her some damage mitigation when needed, otherwise it will provide her with extra energy. However, if you don't have this, you can also get away with something like Jura's Call for the additional energy to ultimate faster. So with all that out of the way, how far do we want to invest into Nevanthi? For her signature item, it's one of those ones where every investment is going to make it improve. The base, level 10 and level 20 are just upgrades on each other, so if you can get her to level 20, the extra mitigation is going to be nice. As for her level 30, it's another one that's beneficial, especially if you have enemy teams that are going to put healing reduction effects on your allies. However, it's not 100% necessary. So a safe point would be level 10 or level 20, but for high investment, feel free to go to level 30. Her furniture ability is only relevant when using allies that summon entities, which is where you should mainly be using her. And if you are using summoner allies, then taking this to 9 is going to be incredibly beneficial, meaning that you can stack that Mark of Nature up to 2 times. However, if you are low on resources, level 3 is a great starting point too. And for her engravings, level 60 is going to be really nice to achieve. 30 is great because you're going to be able to apply Arbor Refuge to more allies when she uses it. And then at level 60, being able to permanently stack that buff up to 3 times on allied units with summoned entities is going to be fantastic. So that is going to be it for Nevanthi, a really strong support hero with solid healing, damage mitigation, and buffs, especially when it comes to summoner allies. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.